Yes, everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Stephen Howson, and this is 5 things that we learned watching Manchester United apparently phone it in and give Liverpool the opportunity to try and win the Europa League. Keys and Gray, we'll be talking about you a little bit later on, lads, because that was shocking. Right then, in at number 1, deserved debuts. Coming away from Old Trafford with 3 points last night was always going to be difficult. Once we saw that, Ollie had made 10 changes to the side that last featured. But I sort of expected it. My prediction was actually 1-1, which wasn't obviously too far away. I thought it was the game that was the most likely for us to drop points. I thought it was the game for us most likely to phone in, especially when you saw the fixture congestion that we saw. And while it's absolutely disappointing to be losing football matches no matter the circumstances, it was great to see Diallo make his Premier League debut. It was also good to see Elanga make his official debut. And Elanga is now the 14th academy player that Solskjaer's handed a debut to, and he did himself no shame whatsoever in all the time that he had on the pitch. So congratulations to Anthony Elanga for becoming another one off the conveyor belt. And with 3 games to go into the Europa League final, it will be interesting to see if Elanga is awarded another run out, be that off the bench or another start, with Ollie maybe switching his focus now to the Europa League final. Number 2, Ahmad actually made an impact. Ahmad was handed 78 minutes yesterday, and he certainly made use of the opportunity that he was given, as he looked pretty bright in doing so. Against Leicester, Ahmad attempted 5 take-ons in which he completed 3 of those. He managed to create 1 chance, and he provided the assist for Mason Greenwood's equaliser. But he also contributed defensively, which is a side of his game that I wasn't sure was there, making 7 ball recoveries, 1 block and 1 tackle to round off, like we said, a pretty bright showing on his Premier League debut. With United rumoured to be eyeing a right winger this season, maybe it'd be wise for us to try and find a suitable loan for Ahmad to go and aid his development. My worry with Ahmad was always going to be the case that the Glazers say, listen, we bought you a right winger, there he is. Whereas he was never bought to be an immediate impact first team player. He was always bought as one that we were going to look to bring on over the next 18 to 24 months. But what we've seen from him as a senior Manchester United player, it's been bright. He's clearly not the finished product, but it's been bright, and the future does look good for him. I think he's proved he's ready for first team football. I'm just not sure if that's at Old Trafford right this second. Number 3, another Greenwood goal. Mason's on fire at the moment, and he's once again ending the season with a flourish. He is the kind of player that Sir Alex Ferguson would have absolutely loved, wouldn't he? He's the kind of player that just does enough till around Christmas, and then from Christmas time onwards, bosh. Literally how Sir Alex Ferguson's teams used to do it. He's now been directly involved in 8 goals in his last 7 domestic games. He's got 7 goals and 1 assist, and his Premier League tally for the season now sits at 7. Across Europe's top 5 leagues, no teenager has scored more league goals. And adding to that, Greenwood has now scored 6 Premier League goals since the start of April. And not a single player in the division has managed more than that in that period. Solskjaer said himself after the match, in such a young front three against Leicester, Greenwood looked more like a player nearing his 30s than he did a 19-year-old, which is a credit to just how well his development is coming along. Number 4, Matic, solid cameo. All right, he maybe could have done a little bit better to battle with Soyuncu for Leicester's winner. I think that would be fair to say. But even though he was probably Marcus Rashford's man, I think Matic had a pretty solid outing yesterday, especially considering his age and how little he's been playing recently. You know, to come in and not really look like he's lacking in any sort of match fitness. Amongst the United players, Matic attempted 87 and completed 77 more passes than anybody else on the pitch against Leicester. He also made the most final third passes with 12 and the most ball recoveries with 11. He also had the most interceptions with 3 and completed the most take-ons with 4 out of 4 amongst all of the United players. Wearing a captain's armband yesterday in Harry Maguire's absence, Matic really took the game by the scruff of the neck at times and was immense in midfield when he was coming up against players like Ndidi and Yuri Tillman. Something that in my preview I said, I am worried about this because that Leicester midfield is actually belting. His display has led for him to see calls for him to start in Gdansk for his experience and his calmness on the ball, but I think it'll be down to Scott McTominay and Fred to impress just as much now against Liverpool tomorrow night to see. And this is the beauty of having a final on the cards. You can keep your players motivated through the final games because you're like, listen, you lads, you're playing for places. So it'll be interesting to see who manages to get the nod and who manages to pick up some form in the final few games of the season. And in at number 5, then we go again. Yes, we heard it right, and hopefully it doesn't bite me on the arse like it did Steven Gerrard. Liverpool come to Old Trafford tomorrow in United's 3rd game in the space of 5 days. And Solskjaer's managed the squad pretty well, I think, during this period. We should be able to come back to pretty much full strength, I imagine, now against Liverpool for the visit of the Premier League champions who never got a trophy parade. The Premier League champions who never came to Old Trafford as champions. I'll take that. I'll take that all day long. Mint. And I do have to give a note to Keys and Gray. I saw their stupid little video last night saying that they sympathise with Liverpool and United are a disgrace, and this all got moved because our supporters are hooligans and we're protesting at the fact that we've not been in the mixer for the league for 8 years. Shut up, you clueless old fucking dinosaurs. You don't have a clue. You genuinely don't have a clue. You look at the money that the Glazers have spent, that's club money, and it doesn't touch how much they've paid in interest repayments. That's the club's money. That's not the Glazers' money. That's Manchester United's money. And Manchester United have been absolutely rinsed by the Glazers. United were world leaders prior to them coming, and since they've been here, the stadium is crumbling. We saw journalists last night even talking about how they're sitting on like the 26th row in the press box getting dripped on. You haven't a clue. You haven't a clue. But anyway, yesterday's inevitable defeat. Now it's down to United to build is gone, and it's down for United now to build some momentum coming into the Europa League final. A win all but crushes Liverpool's chances of qualifying for the Champions League, which will be sweet. Because even last night's pathetic attempt from Manchester City to sort of celebrate their title win. Honestly, I had more people at a behind the closed doors game than Manchester City had celebrating that they won their title outside the ground last night. That's absolutely pathetic. But yeah, it's an opportunity for us to crush Liverpool's dreams, which is I've always got time for. And the comedy show of City celebrating a title, because it means nothing, and the weight of the tears of Liverpool fans crying, talking about match fixing, talking about all this, that and the other. Hypocritically, I might add, because it's something Liverpool done in between a Champions League, I think it was their semi with Chelsea back in 2007, where they made 10 changes themselves. But hey-ho, I guess when it suits you, Scousers, as usual. I think it'd be the perfect way to finish the season. Start with a win against Liverpool, put away Fulham, put away Wolves, finish the season strongly, secure the 2nd place, and then go and win the Europa League against Villarreal on the 26th. Let's be having you. Oh, and before I go, we have started to sell the 3rd kit, the green and gold kit, and if you want to get your hands on that, you're honestly going to need to be quick. We've done over 600 of those shirts in sales now. There technically is 1,000 being made, but there's like 50 or so that are going to be kept for the team to actually play in. So you've got like 300 and something left if you want to get one. The link is in the description. There will be no more on sale after this. They're only going to be on sale until the 31st of May. And to be honest, they might even go by weekend looking at the rate that we've started selling them. So if you want one, head to the link in the description or in the comments and get yourself one. See you in a bit.